Thomas 50. Jesus said, "If they say to you, 'Where have you come from?' say to them, 'We have come from the light, from the place where the light came into being by itself, established itself, and appeared in their image.' If they say to you, 'Is it you?' say, 'We are its children, and we are the chosen of the living Father.' If they ask you, 'What is the evidence of your Father in you?' say to them, 'It is motion and rest.'" Thomas 50 is a profound saying because it gives us an insight into the mysteries behind what we are. Since Yeshua knew that giving his contemporaries such responses would make the disciples appear to be speaking heresy, the questions are presented as if from a foreigner, preempting the apostles' journeys into other regions. In this way, the responses are benign because of their cryptic nature. Through this ambiguity, they have been delivered to the future, where now they can be understood. In this saying, Yeshua tells us how we should respond to questions we might ask ourselves on our journey to enlightenment. The union with the source. A person reading this with skepticism is right to do so. It is this questioning and examining that makes you worthy. Chosen. A skeptic will interrogate everything, which is a healthy thing to do. However, it is prudent to consider that science is only beginning to understand where our cosmos came from and how many dimensions there are. When one considers the infinite expanse of space, which lies beyond our insignificant galaxy, we can see endless possibilities. If we take the romantic medieval notion of heaven out of the equation and think about other forms of life, we begin to accept that there are things we are not aware of. The possibility that we are more than flesh and bone has already been shown to us by what one man did over 2,000 years ago. The sin that has been eradicated is the one that sees us limit our potential to evolve. For the skeptic, consider the context of where and when Jesus came into this world. The concepts he speaks of were impossible for his contemporaries to comprehend, much less accept. This is partly why Jesus emphasized the notion of faith. He wanted his disciples to have faith in what he was telling them, even if they had no clue as to what it meant. Unfortunately, this faith became a double-edged sword. Church groups made the messenger into the message, maintaining that all one needs is to believe in Jesus Christ. We know that this is not true. Yeshua hoped that his crucial teachings might make it to our time, if at least one of the disciples had enough faith in his words. This was Thomas. The evidence of the disciples' lack of understanding is in the New Testament. The Gospel of Thomas includes all of Yeshua's teachings, even the ones the disciples did not understand. In the 21st century, people have the language. If Yeshua were living in this world today, he would be using similar language to scientists involved in various forms of physics. Generally, when people think of light, they think of the physical effects of the light spectrum. The same light given off by stars and other light sources. This is not the way we should think about the light Yeshua refers to in Thomas 50. Physical light, the one we can see and feel, has created life in the material universe. This dimension mirrors what the other does. It creates through the actions derived from chemicals and elements, which are combined with gravity, bringing mass together. The slight anomalies in the mass of different materials mean that the smaller particles are drawn toward the larger ones, eventually creating stars and planets. Science has proven that the countless individual galaxies are moving away from each other, which suggests that at some point, before the Big Bang, they were all in one central place. Why the Big Bang occurred in the first place is unknown. Furthermore, what existed around this singularity, which contained everything known in the physical universe, is a conundrum in itself. Visible light in this realm creates life and allows us to see what is hidden. Likewise, the light Yeshua speaks of has the same quality, but it is invisible to us because it is not of this realm. The physical phenomenon of light is a metaphor for what happens through the spirit realm. In this realm, where there is light, there is no darkness. Likewise, where there is knowledge tempered by wisdom, there is the invisible light, resulting in no fear, no evil. This place of the invisible light allows the soul to come to life. Linked to this concept of the light is Thomas 83, wherein Jesus tells us the Father's image is hidden by his light. This knowledge ratifies our understanding of the nature phenomena of this invisible light. If we look to the history of man's preoccupation with sun worship, we get a clue as to the need for reconnecting to the light. Many great civilizations, such as the Aztecs and the ancient Egyptians, placed significance on the sun, giving it the status of a god. This is an example of how people have been struggling with the knowledge deep within the psyche, a knowledge that has been scattered. Since the breath of life entered humankind, their souls have been evolving towards this point. It is as though their eyes have been shut and are now opening, particularly in the past couple of millennia. Just as people associate the sun to a creator god through the suppressed psyche, we see this appear in human mythologies. Consider how humans who believe in an afterlife might describe what hell is like. It is usually either a frozen wasteland or a burning landscape of molten rock and flames. This is, again, a memory we have deep within our physical makeup, DNA, which becomes linked to the notion of the metaphysical. We intuitively know what happens when a habitable planet dies. A planet is either consumed in flames as its sun expands before collapsing on itself, or the atmosphere is damaged in some way, so that it becomes too cold or hot for a human-like species to exist. Humans have this knowledge because they are connected to the source. This information is within us. It also exists because some may have experienced it in previous life forms. This knowledge has presented itself as myths about the worst-case scenario after death. Some people call it hell. Yeshua came to this realm to give humans the knowledge that would open their third eye, so that they can see, comprehend, the invisible light. In this way, humans would not taste death. Their spirit would be in another realm when this one expires. People should also understand that it is beneficial for church groups to preserve the idea of hell. This ensures that their venues will be filled with people wanting to be saved from perdition. It is also beneficial to the dark spirits who have embraced the material realm. They have created hell and purgatory from this mythology. The leaders of the institutions, who have come to realize their teachings are false, use the guilt people die with to misguide souls into this place of darkness. This is the only place they have control, because people have given it to them. Guilt is one of the main substances that constitute the coin forged in this world. See commentary for Thomas 32. The light is essentially what we are as a life force. How else does one describe a consciousness? A consciousness, in this sense, is an awareness and knowledge of self without the world's physiological and psychological parameters. This would allow us to be like a naive, newly born baby. Thomas 22. This knowledge is calm, harmonious, and at peace. At the same time, it is dynamic and creative. This is the key to the response Yeshua tells us to give to the question, what is the evidence of your Father in you? It is motion and rest. In this way, we see another mystery relating to the nature of the soul. It is on a series of journeys. The soul inhabits different states of being. Each time it is in motion through a place, experiencing new things. This is a logical conclusion when we consider the endless possibilities within the numerous galaxies and dimensions. Compare how people, at the early stages of the Industrial Revolution, dreamt of flying around the world and then, even to the moon. All these things eventuated because people made them happen. It is our creative nature. Sadly, what humans find difficult is to not listen to the nature of the beast, which is part of their physical DNA. This is the lion that consumes them, but the lion still presents as human. Thomas 7. These people become characteristic of the narcissistic lion, rather than of the perfect human. In doing so, they put their creative energy, which is from the source, into negative actions. It is at this point they become the egotistical Satan, as described in the New Testament. Too often, people think like creatures born of this world and not as the offspring of the one Yeshua refers to as his Father, the source. When Yeshua says the light established itself and appeared in their image, he reveals how this source of energy and consciousness came into existence through its own awakening. This energy is something humans cannot comprehend because it is difficult to fathom how something can appear from nothing. But this is its nature. It is nothing and everything at the same time. It is analogous to the voids in space, which are only apparent because of the billions of galaxies highlighting the empty space. When Yeshua states it appeared in their image, he is referring to the prophets and himself. Jesus took on the image of the human to communicate his messages, as we see in Thomas 28. The prophets and all humans are weaker manifestations of this light. These prophets were the collective sword, which tested this realm and the capacity of humans to accept the hand of God, the Father Source, through the physical image of Jesus, Thomas 98. This was the source in search of its most beloved sheep, its sparks of light scattered into the abyss, Thomas 107. The evidence of the Father Source in us is motion and rest. We can identify this as creativity, and it can be seen throughout the cosmos. Activity, motion, can be seen in the formation of a star and its planets, as much as it can be seen in a baby exploring the new world. Rest in the physical universe can be seen in the slow evolution of an organism and in people's ability to dream, linking to the subconscious mind. The mind is an aspect of the soul. The soul is at rest between bodies during death. The light energy of most souls is reabsorbed into the omnipresent source. The two become one. The physical realm mirrors the other dimension because it is parallel, a layer next to it and through it.